Gentlemen, welcome in on the road to Arrowwood this weekend as we get set for some rodeo action. But of course, you know what? Every time I try and get something of myself done on the side here, why not? The Oilers have to release some news and we have to get things going. I think this is the actual first video I've done from a moving car in a very, very long time. We got Budsy over here driving up the storm on the old Trans-Canada right now, and we're getting on down to Arrowwood for today's rodeo action at what, 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock. So there we go, 7 o'clock perf here in Arrowwood tonight. But friends, the Edmonton Oilers releasing their preseason schedule today, and well, you know what? She's a big one. I think again, as it has been past 2 years now in a row, the Oilers have had quite a sizable preseason schedule. I think last year, I will tell you, I was pretty grateful for the sizable preseason schedule. It obviously kicked my season off with quite a bang. And I think, too, it was really nice to get right back into the swing of things with some really big live streams. At the time, what was my biggest Edmonton Oilers live stream to date in the 5 years of doing this channel, doing the Oilers thing. But now we get another 8 preseason games. I've got the list here. Look at this. I'm even doing some journalistic stuff, writing stuff down. Wow. You know, breaking news, right? September 24th, I guess, where we kick things off. We'll probably... of course, kick it off with Young Stars Penticton Classic and all that, but we don't need to worry about that too much. That's something that really is hard to live stream because it's all live streamed to YouTube anyways, and it's kind of tough to try and get involved in that, and especially too when they're playing games at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and the guys work, and it's kind of tough to sit down and watch, I guess you could say. So September 24th versus Winnipeg kicks off the preseason at home. Then we go to Winnipeg the next night, September 25th at Winnipeg. So that'll be interesting to see how the roster changes from back-to-back nights in Winnipeg, because right, you're going to have your young guys that probably suit up in game one. Then they're probably done. The AHL season kicks off not too long, but I think this year, because of where the preseason ends and where the AHL season starts, we'll be seeing a couple of guys that are more bubble guys stick around right to the very end. And I think too, with an 8-game sched, you'll probably see as well Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl not suit up too much in the preseason, as I wouldn't want them to, because at this point, right, an 8-game schedule, if they play more than 2 games, I'm going to have a problem with it, whether they play 2 games together or whether they play 2 games separately. September 27th, well friends, Vancouver comes to town. And what I guess I should say as we're getting into the thick of this schedule is the fact that, yeah, you know what, guess what? Tickets, broadcast information, that'll all be released later. So pardon me, we just got a schedule for right now, not even really any times. September 29th against Calgary in Calgary, one of the last games that'll be played at the Saddle Dome in terms of our preseason, because they obviously secured the arena deal, everything else happened, and yeah, that seems to be going ahead. So we'll see the preseason kickoff in Calgary 1, 2, 3 more times, and then that'll be it for the old Saddle Dome down there in Victoria Park Stampede area. September 30th at Vancouver. So this is where I'd expect things to kind of really take shape for the Oilers. You go September 29th in Calgary, September 30th in Vancouver, October 2nd in Seattle. So right, you look at this schedule, there is no weird trip where the Oilers are going to be floating on a boat in the Pacific Ocean, sitting back, or wherever the heck they were last year. My brain's not as great on a Friday morning. I'm at work, but I'm not at work. It's tough to go up till 3 in the morning last night traveling out to Strathmore. But so yeah, right. I don't see any big gaps in this schedule. It's pretty much either back-to-backs or 2-day, 1 day on, 1 day off kind of situation. So then you come home October 4th versus Calgary, and then October 6th at home to close it out against the Seattle Kraken. So that's kind of where the Edmonton Oilers sit right now, is very quick, very fast 8-game preseason schedule. And I don't know if that's by design by the Oilers or a little bit of more force from the other 4 teams involved in our preseason, but as I believe the case was last year, 2 games against everybody in the region. So that's where we're at, is Winnipeg, right, Vancouver, Calgary twice, and Seattle twice as well. I believe that's what we did last year. And I think too, with the Oilers kind of the way the camp battles are banging out and stuff, you almost have to do this because, right, Raphael Lavoie, you have to give him time to shine. A bunch of other guys, Aviel Borgo, Philip Broberg, all of them, you have to give them time to kind of sit there and shine in the preseason a bit. But at the same rate, too, we kind of know what our guys are at this point. The guys that we're trying to make the roster, there shouldn't be too much camp battles. It should be pretty clear cut by 1 or 2 games. So, yeah, it is a pretty hefty preseason schedule. I think you could have very easily done 6 games, done only 1 against Winnipeg, done only 1 against Seattle, and then the 2 against Vancouver and Calgary, and that would have sufficed. But it's one of those situations where, you know what, I'll just be happy to have a couple more games to broadcast this year. Right, last year we went all the way from the preseason all the way to the end of the playoffs there, and that was something I'd never done before. So hopefully for the Oilers, it's going to be an 8-game preseason schedule, an 82-game regular season schedule, because, right, we have had, never mind, and at the same rate too, then at least 20-25 games in the playoffs to get us home to Lord Stanley's mug there at the end of the year in June. But that's where we're kind of sitting right now, friends. So like I said, just to cap off here as we're going through it, it's Winnipeg, Vancouver, Calgary, Vancouver, Seattle, Calgary, Seattle, and that spans from September 24th all the way to October 6th. So you got to remind that it's a very quick preseason despite it being 8 games. So buckle up, the old Dolynny TV live streaming machine is going to be quite busy that 2 weeks there at the end of September, start of October. But tickets and broadcast information yet to be announced from the Edmonton Oilers, and it will be coming at a later date, so stay tuned for that. But as we get going, friends, I just want to say, if you do get a chance today and you got a free evening in southern Alberta somewhere in the Calgary area, head on out to Arrowwood, come check out the camera work, come check out the board work by Budsy on the board, and we'll see what we can do for a good show in Arrowwood tonight as we're getting set up for today's rodeo. That's why we're on the road. You can see cars passing us on the right. You can see highway off to the side. We're on the Trans-Can down here in southern Alberta as we're coming to you live with the preseason schedule for the Edmonton Oilers this upcoming year, 2023. I guess we're already there, but it's coming fast, right? We're gonna all be old before we know it, and well, you know what? Another season dawning on us before we even get to the draft and NHL free agency. Of course, keep in mind the NHL draft June 28th, NHL free agency July 1st. And as far as it comes from the boss man at regular work is we're trying not to work July long weekend, so should have lots of coverage for you on July 1st if I do indeed secure July 1st off. Friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Very much so appreciate it. And Tiffany, I do know, yeah, traveling along the Trans-Can, it's kind of tough. It's not a great smooth ride when you got a big trailer on the back there trying to get the board to where it needs to go for the Arrowwood Perf tonight. But hey, you know what, it is what it is. We'll talk to you folks rather soon. Like I said, come out to Arrowwood if you get a chance tonight. I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Up on out of here.
Go on, let's go!